Hey, Reverend Swanigan, how are you today?
I'm blessed, Sister Shawn. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, thank you so much. Wanting to continue our conversation today with respect to the upcoming holidays. Now we're on to Christmas, right?
Yes.
All right, we just left out of Thanksgiving and we're headed to Christmas and New Year's, and we want to share with our viewers how to do this in keeping with the goal of managing our blood sugar levels. So we want to plan our menus with our blood in mind, the health of our blood in mind, correct?
That's right.
And our younger members of the family, we want to have them experience the changes that we're making.
Yes.
In other words, we don't want to continue training them to do the things that we know are going to eventually lead to them having problems with their weight.
Yes.
And with their blood sugar management and all of the nasty manifestations of that.
Yes.
So it's important that we do this. So let's talk about it for a minute.
Okay.
So on your Christmas menu, what do you normally have?
Normally, we would have just before, we've made sugar awareness a part of our lives. We would just, the normal, typical honey baked ham or brown sugar seasoning, turkey dressing, Jiffy corn mix, muffins, loads of sweet potato pie, candied yams. Those were the normal, mac and cheese. Those were the normal holiday celebration that we would partake of and we would eat.
Absolutely.
Now that we are blood sugar, blood pressure are now aware, we now have modified our diets and our preparation, or even our food preparation. We don't do the banana pudding anymore. We just have to learn to, that this is not a part of our menu anymore. I'm not saying that it's wrong to have, but if you want to maintain your sugar levels and blood pressure, as you get older, we've learned that certain things we can't eat. We've just had to come to that conclusion. Yesterday, I ate with a church, and they had string beans, mashed potatoes, salad, and loads of pound cake and meatballs. I just had the meatballs and the spring beans. And so the pastor came to me and says, "Reverend, that's all you're gonna eat?" I said, "Yeah, I don't want to die." I don't want to die, Reverend Wells. And he said, "I understand." And he ate similar to what I ate. He didn't, because he's an older gentleman. And so these are the things that we have to take into consideration. My doctor said, look at sugar now. Look at pop and soda and juice, lemonade. Look at it as poison. And if you look at it in that aspect, it'll change your whole perspective. And so that's what I began to do, that when I would go down the aisles of the store, look at that Ocean Spring and all those juices that I would normally drink thinking it's healthy. Now I say, that's poison.
Exactly.
It's just simply poison to me. So I can't eat it. So the normal candied yams, sweet potato pie, we don't do. And
Beautiful.
I've asked my daughters not to bring them over, not to put them apart, not to make them a part of our menu. But there are substitutes, and I'm just learning from Sister Shawn some of the things that you can substitute. Mac and cheese. Now, mac and cheese doesn't raise, because I tested it, it doesn't do my blood sugar, it doesn't raise it too high. However, I still have to be careful. But there are substitutes. There are things that we can make in place of those desserts that we can have. Be creative. Look for ways to also sweeten your desserts. You can use maple syrup. There are other sweeteners.
Molasses.
Molasses is a good sweetener.
And then there's one that most people are not familiar with, and that's grape syrup or grape molasses.
Wow. Okay.
You can find that on Amazon.
Okay, great. And so be creative and find desserts that you can make for your family during these holiday seasons that will not blow up your blood sugar levels. So again, let's be disciplined. And in addition to modifying our menus, again, when you're seasoning your basting, your turkey and your ham, be careful of the packet seasonings. Just use the regular salt, pepper, garlic powder. Use those separate seasonings, and you'll still enjoy the wonderful flavor of the meat. All right, but also in modifying your menu, let's try to get more exercise as much as you can. We understand that you can't do a lot. People can't do a lot of walking, a lot of because of the joints. But whatever exercise you can do in the home, whether it's just going up and down the stairs, just go take one trip up, come back down, go back up, go back down, get up their heart rate, and you'll be surprised. Just that will help you in this blood sugar management mission. Yes, and I would like to say that, Sister Shawn, it's a mission to get people thinking about what it means to being a true disciple of Christ. Also, discipline our bodies, making wise, healthy decisions, so that our lives will not be abruptly ended, and so that we can live out the 80, 90 plus years that God has promised us. I've got a lot of living to do, and I want to see my children, my grandchildren, I want to see my great-grandchildren. And if I realized that if the path that I was on, diet-wise, I would not have been able to do that. But now that I'm on the right path, exercising, modifying my sugar levels, even getting that number in the morning, so that you can
know your number
in the morning. Mine was 90. That was a little high this morning, but that was because I did eat late with the church last night.
Got it. And what's the target range?
That target range should be between 70
and 85. 70 and 85.
70
That's
and
the
85.
goal. That's the optimum.
Keep that. If you can do that, your body will appreciate it.
Absolutely.
But again, let me encourage you, you can still have a wonderful time with your family, modifying your desserts, moving out the high sugar desserts, and be creative with the desserts that you have.
Yes. And Reverend Swanigan, I want to interrupt you for just a second. I want the viewers to understand what's on the menu that is correct. So the meats. So understanding that fat does not raise blood sugar and it does not raise insulin. So the usage of butter, sour cream,
great point.
Cheeses, authentic cheeses, and I say authentic because American cheese is not authentic, so it does provide some carbohydrate, okay? And your cream cheese has a little bit of carbohydrate, But your cheeses that are your cheddars, your Swiss, your Parmesan, those that are only using fat,
Yes.
milk fat,
Milk.
those provide 0 carbs. So your fat category of the holiday meal is totally acceptable.
Yes.
Okay? Then when we go into the proteins of the turkey, the chicken, the roast, those things combine both protein and fats. And protein does raise blood sugar and insulin, but it doesn't spike it.
Right.
It just gently raises it.
Yes.
Okay? So all of those things are completely fine. Your mention of your seasoning packets, great. Do not use seasoning packets. Why? Because the seasoning packets tend to have the starches, the gums, the thickeners. Those things are all carbohydrates, because anything that is not animal is carbohydrate.
Right.
And carbohydrates are what? Spike.
That's right.
So that's why your recommendation was exactly on point.
Absolutely.
To just use your salts, your peppers, your garlic. The more refined the garlic is, the more it will raise your blood sugar. So in other words, if you use fresh garlic or frozen garlic and it's just the authentic real garlic, that's going to be more minimal on the blood sugar and insulin than if you use garlic powder.
Right.
Now there's also granulated garlic,
Yes.
which is a step above the powder. The powder is the most refined.
Right.
So at Aldi, I want to give them a mention. They have a line of organic seasonings.
Great.
And one of the seasonings that they have is labeled garlic powder.
Okay.
However, it's really granulated.
Oh, okay.
It flows.
Okay.
And powder, it gets more sticky.
Mm-hmm.
So their garlic, even though it's labeled garlic powder, it's actually granulated and it flows, and thereby it doesn't raise the blood sugar as high.
Okay.
Okay. So viewers understand that.
Yes.
And then the next point is, when it comes to the things you mentioned, that mac and cheese does not raise your blood sugar as high in you.
Yes,
and
in
that
me.
you're
Yes.
testing.
Yes.
And so you know that.
Right.
And then I want to offer that one of the reasons why that probably doesn't happen with you is because mac and cheese is full of eggs, butter, cheeses, and that offsets the pasta.
Gotcha. All right.
So that would be why. Okay.
Gotcha. So what about that wonderful egg souffle recipe?
Okay.
And we could probably leave a link down below.
Absolutely. So the egg souffle is a beautiful substitute for mac and cheese.
All right.
Specifically, low carb souffle, egg souffle recipes can be searched for on Google. But the egg souffle, you know how when you make baked macaroni and cheese, and you make that, you whip the eggs, and then you put in your evaporated milk or your heavy cream, whichever. And so with an egg souffle, you're basically baking that mixture without pasta. Without pasta, exactly. And then let me offer this. Vinegars also suppress blood sugar response. So when you're cooking, if you were to, anything you make, always add some apple cider and some balsamic vinegar in it. Yes. And that brings me to greens also. So you know how with collard greens, they have a tinge of a bitterness sometimes? And so we've been raised to add a little sugar into the greens.
A little sugar in it,
Right, okay. Well, that's a big no-no.
No.
We're not doing that anymore, are we?
No.
No, we know better than that now, because that ruins the beauty of the greens, right?
It does.
Now it takes something that was beneficial to us and it turns it into something that is now poisonous to us.
That's right.
So I want to offer that when you're making your collard greens, if you want to reduce the bitter, although the bitter is a food category, and it's actually good for your liver to have that bitter.
Yes.
But if you can't tolerate the bitter, I want you to know that by adding the vinegars, that's going to tamp down the bitter.
Yeah.
And the other thing that can be done is to add a splash of your heavy whipping cream.
Okay.
Because heavy whipping cream, even though it has 0 carbs, it has 0 carbs, but it's sweet. It has a little sweetness to it.
Is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so even with butter, you've seen butter where it says sweet cream.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's because the cream somehow has a little bit of sweetness to it without any carbohydrate.
Right.
So you could add heavy whipping cream to your greens, and that would also offset the bitter.
That would be something new.
And that would be something new.
That I'll definitely try it. But the vinegar is very important. And it also enhances the taste of the greens.
Yes, it does.
I like, and you have people that put vinegar, and it's very healthy. Vinegar is a very healthy condiment.
Yes.
And we should consider that more in our diet.
Absolutely. So when we think about then our buffet, right? We can have the turkey, we can have the roast.
That's right.
The ham we want to stay away from because the ham has the sugar, tends to be made with sugar. Now you can get a picnic ham and cook it and add no sugar to it. And then you're fine.
Yeah, you could just do oven. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, without the glaze.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you could do that. And then you got your string beans, your greens, your cabbage. If you want to have broccoli, any of those things are going to make the plate full. It's going to make the buffet full, but it's going to be totally in keeping with your health.
That's right.
How about that?
And that's the point.
That's the point.
Keeping the main thing the main thing.
Thank you. Yeah. So in terms of beverages, if we do our water, I love spring water because of its mineral content. If we want to make the water pretty, we could do slices of cucumber in the water, slices of lemon.
Lime.
So you're still making lime. So you're still making it attractive. But getting the family used to no sugar in the beverages. We don't want to drink our sugar for sure. Okay.
Absolutely.
The beverages are particularly poisonous because they have no fiber. So they're only giving you sugar with no fiber to help balance that out. And no fat.
No fat.
That's the big problem with the sweet beverages. They're totally just inflaming that system with no balancer to it. So understanding that will help you to understand why the sweetened beverages are particularly poisonous. Okay? All right. So then I want to go back to your meal that you had at the church last night. And I want to say bravo.
Amen.
Bravo. That was great leadership. I'm sure that the other reverend was happy to be in good company because some people, they know these things. But people don't want to be alone. They want to be together in the quest.
And you can let the people know who's cooking. They won't, just say, look, we're going to modify. We don't need a lot of pound cake. We just don't need it. We want people to be healthy. And I think as leaders, we need to take that initiative and help our people remain healthy. And maybe it convicted him a little last night. He said, Swanigan, you're not going to eat none of this? I said, no, I don't eat none of that. I don't eat pound cakes. and all those other sweet desserts that I normally eat. He said, oh, wow, yeah. And then he took a plate similar to mine, just the meatballs, the gravy, and the string beans. And I was full.
Absolutely.
I was full.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
And just from an educational standpoint, I want to talk about hidden hidden thickeners, because of what was offered, you chose the right things. Okay. However, I want the viewers to know that meatballs are bound by bread,
Yeah.
bread crumbs.
That's
Okay.
it. That's it.
The gravy is also going to have carbohydrate,
flour.
yep, the flour in
Flour
it to
in it.
thicken
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
okay?
Mhm.
So of the offerings that were made, you made the best, most modified
Yeah.
choices that you could make.
Yes.
But I want our people to understand the hidden spots where these things exist.
Right.
And that's why in our catering, it is a good idea to make certain that there's always baked chicken.
Baked chicken.
Yes, baked chicken available. Yes.
Yes.
I would never order meatballs on the menu nor anything with gravy.
With gravy or, yeah.
Exactly.
Like you said, they use breadcrumbs as a binder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So baked chicken should always be there. And and again, the caterers need to know no seasoned packets, because again, when we're on this journey, we're educating others.
Right.
So
That's
many of the caterers, they don't have this knowledge.
Right.
Okay. So as we gain the knowledge and we transfer the knowledge, we're spreading the knowledge. Okay. All right. Very, very good. So you mentioned exercise.
Yes.
That's another way of keeping the family together. So after the meal, if it's, if the weather is conducive, we can all take a walk together. That's excellent. And then what about 101 conversational questions?
Absolutely. We can.
Can we bring those books? Can
Go
you
right
take it
ahead.
off the stand
Go
so that
right
the
ahead.
viewers can see them? Just hold
Okay.
the collection
Okay.
in front so that they can see the full collection.
Okay. There we go.
Yes, 101 Conversational Questions is an entertainment book series that I have authored. And when we think about our Thanksgiving and our Christmases and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day holidays, I want us to give more thought to the bonding exercise of it, right?
Yes.
So tell me
Absolutely.
what you think about these books being used to facilitate addressing the hurt and the bonding of the family for the holidays.
Excellent resource here. I highly recommend. They're available on Amazon. Shawn Watson Davis, 101 Conversations, Questions for Couples, Families, and Friends. There was one that there's many. Let's just take one random.
Okay.
Describe your parents. In what ways are you both alike and different from them? Number 24. So you can talk about that.
Tell us your story. Answer that question.
Okay, describe my parents. I had a single mom.
Okay.
And she was a beautiful person, and she would give you, she just had a big heart. And I had she married, she married someone else that was not my biological father. But I was like my mom. I feel like I'm a giving person. I'll let my wife testify to that. My mom, I was a giving person because my mom was a giving person. My wife can definitely testify to that. So those are some of the ways that I was like her, giving, sharing, and wanting my family to be together. I was like that. I was also like her in being confident of who you are. She instilled in me self-confidence. And I remember she told me, son, the first thing you need to do when you get older, you make sure you have a place to stay for you and your family. So I always kept that in my mind, that no matter what I did in life, I was going to have a place to stay. And she was instilling in me to be a good provider. And so I believe that that was what my mom instilled in me. She was a great provider as a single mother. And when she remarried, she continued on being a great provider, even for her husband.
Exactly.
So describe your parents and in what ways you are both alike and different from them. I spent a lot of time in church. For whatever reason, the church, I gravitated toward the church. My mom was not a church person, but that didn't mean that she was not a spiritual person. She just was not a church person. And so we can't judge people based on them not wanting to come to church. Church is not for everybody. And I'm a preacher, and I'll say this. Church is not for everybody. And it was not for my mom. She just could not see herself at a church. But that didn't mean that she did not love God, that she was not a spiritual person, because she was. And my wife of 40 years could testify to that. Old Stacy May was not a church person, but she was definitely a spiritual person.
So phenomenal. And you see, that's the beauty
What a
of
great
101 conversational questions.
It just brung all that out.
Exactly. It brought all of that out.
Wonderful.
Sharing
Amen.
the stories so
Amen.
that your children and grandchildren
Yes.
get to hear those kinds of things that otherwise would not come up at the dinner table.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And that's what my grandchildren need to hear.
Exactly.
What a great question. And so we'll talk about that during over our Christmas holiday.
And you know, Reverend Swanigan, it could be done at the dinner table, or it could be done family
driving
circle,
in the car,
driving in the car, but after the dinner, to have everybody come together.
Yes.
There's candles lit on the family room table, and everybody is sitting, and each person has one of the books, and everybody is taking turns passing the books, asking a question.
What a great tradition to start.
Imagine that?
That would be great. That would be a great tradition to start. Amen. So we're going to see if we can do that. We're going to, after we eat, we're going to sit down and we're going to take these questions and go over it. Amen.
Beautiful. I
Amen.
thank you so much for purchasing the complete set.
Oh, yes.
I thank you for your leadership on this blood sugar management issue.
Mission. Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. We have so much territory to cover.
Yes.
And we are going to save lives.
Amen.
We are going to save lives.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. So everyone, happy holidays to you. Decide what modifications you're going to make in your menu this year, and include attending to the hearts with 101 Conversational Questions by Shawn Watson Davis, available on Amazon.com. Again, that's 101 Conversational Questions by Shawn Watson Davis. In fact, when you search my name, if you put SHAWN, Shawn Watson Davis, into the search engine of Amazon, all three of the books show up together. All right? So again, happy holidays, everyone.
God bless.
Comment and share this video.
Amen.
Bye now.
Have a safe holiday.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Bye.